Hi everyone, thank you for listening on Facebook Live, and this is very valuable information to share it with your family and friends. So I'm going to talk about how to boost your immune system to lower your risk for cancer. The reason is, according to American Cancer Society now, 1 out of 2 men get cancer and 1 out of 3 women get cancer. So it's all about prevention. So for us to develop cancer, we don't get cancer overnight. It takes years for us to develop a tumor. So we could do testing. We could find out way before a tumor is formed. I always make this graph for my patient. I tell patients, it takes about 6 to 8 years for us to develop a tumor. For a tumor to be palpable or to be seen on an X-ray or on MRI. So it's all about prevention and for most of our cancer patients get diagnosed by stage 3 and 4, and which is 10 to 12 years in that process. So what can we do to find out if we have abnormal cancer cell in our body? So there is few tests at the office that we do. If I look at the patient's blood work and I see inflammation, lowering of white blood cell, some clues that makes me think, okay, this person's immune system is suppressed and there is an increased risk of cancer, then I recommend cancer profile tests to find out what's going on. Or if someone has a tumor and they do not want to do biopsy, like for example, having a prostate cancer, if you have a tumor in your prostate and if you don't biopsy it, there is less likely for it to spread. When you do biopsy, there is risk of metastasis within 2 to 4 years. So there is a test like Oncoblood to do to find out, okay, is this tumor cancerous or not? But again, there is no test. Oncoblood is not 100% either. If that turns negative, then I go and do cancer profile, which detects way early on. Am I talking too fast? Should I slow down a little bit? No? Okay. So then if someone had cancer and had the tumor removed, and according to the oncologist, they're in remission. So then we're like, okay, let's see how much circulating tumor cell you have that is floating in your body. So then we do the test, RGCC test, we send it to Greece to find out how much circulating tumor cell they have. So this is just an overview. That's not what I'm going to be talking about. This is what I'm going to talk about, really, what important factors are that to boost our immune system. So I'm going to talk all about how to decrease our stress, what's the optimal sleep, what's the sufficient amount of water we need to drink, what is the proper nutrients, what's the optimal level of antioxidant, etc. So we're going to go over all these points tonight. So decrease stress. So we don't realize how chronic stress is so bad for us. Having chronic stress, a little bit of stress every day we all have. I have it myself, stressing. But chronic stress leads to suppressed immune system. It also raises our cortisol level. And indirectly, when you're stressing all the time, your cortisol level is high. It also increases your sugar level in your blood and also decreases other hormones in the body. And elevated cortisol level in some studies shows that suppresses natural killer cell. What are natural killer cells? Natural killer cells are immune cells in our body that goes after viruses, that can also go after abnormal cell in our body. So that's important to know. So what's solution? Solution is basically to decrease stress. If it means for you exercising or swimming in the ocean or meditating or laughing, whatever you can do to decrease stress is important. But sometimes we also need to take supplements. When your adrenal being suppressed, what is adrenal? Adrenal is a gland we have above our kidneys which deals with stress. And if this been suppressed for a long time, we sometimes do need to take supplement to help with adrenal. And these are the steps. I mean, every day we need time for ourselves to de-stress, basically. My time is to do yoga. I do either yoga early in the morning or after work. Even though I don't stress personally much, but my patients going through what they're going through is like I'm going through it. It causes a lot of stress in me. So I do need to get rid of all that stress. So for me, really yoga or meditation is the key. So this was a great article as well. It showed that the stress of cancer can cause 1,400 chemical changes in the body. When patient is being diagnosed with cancer, it's so much stress in their body, and it causes so many different chemical changes, according to American Cancer Society. So optimal sleep. Why is sleep important? Most of my patients say, oh, I sleep 5 hours. I'm totally fine. I'm functioning fine during the day. But the problem is sleep is important for your immune system. You need at least to have 8 hours or 7.5 hours minimum for your immune system to function well, for your body to rejuvenate and recoup. And it also says when lack of sleep, it also suppresses the number of T cells. What are T cells? T cells are immune cells which can turn into natural killer cell, which goes after the viruses. So one thing happens to me every time when I go to Vegas, I become sleep deprived. And I get sick when I work at urgent care, deal with sick people. Even though I deal with sick people every day at urgent cares, and I don't get sick unless I'm sleep deprived. That's the only time it affects me personally. So what's the solution to that? We want to make sure we have uninterrupted sleep. Why is uninterrupted sleep is important? Is because if you wake up in the middle of your cycle, you shorten your REM sleep. REM sleep is a rapid eye movement sleep. That's a good quality of sleep. So when this REM sleep is not long, if you get a good sleep at night, the REM sleep gets longer and longer. But if you wake up multiple times to use the bathroom, even though you fall asleep right away, REM sleep starts all over again. So it does shorten the REM sleep, and that's not good. That's not a good quality. And people who are taking Ambien or Lunesta, these are sleeping meds, which shorten their REM sleep, and that's not a good quality sleep. They don't feel well rested when they wake up. And also light. We don't realize we're also addicted to our cell phones, computers, and all that. And the lights and from the computers, it affects our melatonin production. Melatonin is a hormone that has anti-cancer benefit, anti-aging. It's a great hormone to have, and good amount of it. Unfortunately, a lot of us are melatonin. We are melatonin deficient. We have less than what we should have. So I usually make sure my patients are not using computers or not on cell phones at least an hour before bed. And also, if you still have sleep issues, you want to try melatonin first. And some people say, oh, I have so much stuff going in my mind, I cannot sleep. I say, you know what, take a paper, write everything down that you have to do next day. That way it's out of your head, and then you try sleep. But if you still cannot fall asleep, then go to the bed, get out of the bedroom, go to your living room, read a book, not an exciting book or action book. Read something that can calm you and help you to sleep. Sufficient water intake. So studies shows that dehydration leads to lower immune system. And most of us, we are dehydrated. We're not drinking enough water. We think coffee and tea hydrate us, but it doesn't. A cup of coffee, actually coffee dehydrates you. For each cup of coffee, you need to add an extra glass of water. And that doesn't count as drinking water. So, and also one of the problems a lot of people have is constipation due to dehydration and sometimes lack of exercise or other causes. But when you increase your just water intake, you tend to have more normal bowel movements. And what's the solution to that? I always tell my patient, I see a lot of my patient here as well. So the solution is you want to drink half of your body weight in ounces. But it doesn't count if you drink a cup of coffee or 3 cups of coffee. You have to add extra 3 cups of water. And what kind of water? A lot of people drink, alkaline water is the best water. But no, you need the acid in your stomach to break down amino acids, to break down protein. And you also need the acid to protect you against parasite and other infections. So you want to make sure you drink alkaline water early in the morning or before bed, not with your meals, not constantly. I usually recommend drink alkaline water early in the morning or on an empty stomach before meals, not with your meals. Proper nutrition. A lot of my patients say, Dr. Bita, I'm eating so healthy, I'm doing juicing, I'm doing this, I have a perfect diet. But the problem is you could have perfect diet, but you may have gene defect on like MTHFR gene deficiency, like your body cannot process B12 and folate, which I do see it in a lot of my cancer patients. And that's why it's important to sometimes do take additional supplements. And as I said here, according to American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, ability of white blood cell to kill bacteria is much lessened when you have sugar. People don't realize how bad sugar is. They're like eating pastries, cookies, and like that, and they don't realize they actually dampen the white blood cell. And so it's important to not consume processed food and sugar. And also alcohol. A lot of people are nutrition deficient when they drink alcohol. Because alcohol makes you feel full, and sometimes you don't eat as much nutritious food, or also it inhibits the absorption of vitamins. And also sugar in alcohol is not good either. But 1 glass of wine once in a while, or 2 glasses of wine for a man, is not bad. Even my cancer patient, I tell them it's okay as long as it doesn't spike your sugar. Because we all have different kind of gut bacteria. Depending, I tell my patient, you could maybe eat green apple, and check your blood sugar after 40 minutes. Depending on your gut bacteria, how much you spike your sugar. It varies. I can't tell you eat this, drink this, do that. Each individual is different. I always have them make sure they have a glucometer to check their blood sugar if they're later stage cancers, but okay. So lower intake of green leafy vegetable, it's bad as well, because you need to have antioxidants in your body. They're important. We'll talk about on next slide about it. So what do I do at office? I do nutritional testing. There's few different nutritional testing we do to find out, okay, what kind of nutritional deficiency they have. Are they absorbing the vitamins, the minerals that they're taking? And also, sometimes they could have leaky gut. What leaky gut means, a lot of people can, okay, what does that mean? Leaky gut means your intestine, there is tight junction in your intestines, and they're damaged because of the gluten, for example, pesticide, herbicide, which causes leaky, meaning that food goes through that tight junction. It goes into your blood circulation, into your body, and causes other problems. And also yeast. A lot of people do have candida and yeast problem, which also causes problem with absorption of some of nutrients. So we also want to rule out food allergies. Why is that important for our immune system? Because when we have constant allergies to food or environmental, our immune system is constantly activated. It's developed antibody to go protect you against that allergen. And what happens when you have abnormal cell floating in your body, or if you have cancer cell floating in your body, then your body is ignoring those and go after the food allergen. So that way you suppress your immune system. And also you want to limit alcohol intake, as I discussed why. So optimal level of antioxidant. Why is antioxidant important, especially now these days? Because we are constantly exposed to free radicals. What are free radicals? Free radicals are products of pollution, radiation, herbicides. So we need, and our mitochondria in our cell, we have thousands of mitochondria in each cell, which produces ATP, energy for us. And those are very sensitive to free radicals. And when you're depleted with free radicals, you cannot protect your body, your mitochondria. So what happens when mitochondria get damaged? Then your body cannot produce ATP energy. Then your cell have low oxygen. And then those are the cells that turn into cancer cells. So basically having enough antioxidant would help you protect you from cancer as well, abnormal cells. And so what do we do to that? Well, I usually at the office, I do testing, blood testing or urine to check, okay, what's your level of antioxidant? How is your mitochondria functioning? Are you producing ATP or are you in a anaerobic state? And I also mentioned food that are have great antioxidant that is good for your mitochondria as well. Raspberry, pomegranate, which a lot of us are not familiar with that, but it's really good for us. And also artichoke, green apples are excellent for our mitochondria. That's one of the fruits that I consume every day. And dark chocolate as well with low sugar content. It has a high antioxidant. And in some of my patients, I also give them IV glutathione, especially people who had chemo or radiation or people who had low. Glutathione is a major antioxidant that protects us against cancer. 90% of my cancer patients, they all have depleted glutathione. So the ones that they don't are the prostate cancer are the only ones that actually don't have such a depleted glutathione. So supplement, we could do supplement, give them, I myself drink green tea throughout the day. All my patients know I always go into the room with a cup of green tea. That's an excellent antioxidant. According to the Japanese study, they say 6 to 8 cups of green tea a day would be good for a person. And also resveratrol is excellent, which is in dark chocolate and red wine. 2 of my favorite foods. Okay, so next one, eliminate infections. A lot of us have infections which we are not aware of because they're not causing much symptoms to us, but they're suppressing our immune system. One of them is yeast, candida, which a lot of us do have it because of high consumption of sweets and sugary stuff, and also antibiotics. A lot of antibiotics in past. Which let the candida overgrow. We all have candida in our body, but overgrowth of it is bad. Too much of it is bad. Viruses. Any kind of virus is bad for us. And a lot of us has been diagnosed with Epstein-Barr virus as a child, but the virus is in your body still. It suppresses immune system, but it could be dormant. It may not cause any symptoms, but it's dormant. So how does it suppress our immune system is viruses produce an enzyme called nagalase. And nagalase are enzymes that attach to your white blood cell, like natural killer cells, like macrophages, and make them deactivated. So they don't recognize your abnormal cell to go after them and engulf them. So that's why it's important to get rid of them. And according to conventional doctors like myself 3-4 years ago, when I was just totally conventional, I used to say, sorry, you can't do anything. I mean, you have just antibody. They're dormant. But now for the past few years, studying and learning, I realized there is stuff that you could do and take to suppress them and get rid of them. But most of the time is natural stuff. And bacteria. A lot of us do have a little bit of some H. pylori in us, in our gut, but overgrowth of it is too bad. Can cause stomach cancer, gastric cancer in us. Parasite is 25% of U.S. water is contaminated with parasite. So a lot of us here, 60% of us here have parasite. We are not aware of it. And I'm one of them, I have it, and I'm taking care of it. And the problem with parasite is they suppress your immune system. 90% of my patients with breast cancer, they have parasite. And they're still, after 2-3 years of therapy putting them on parasite cleanse, they're still seeing the worms coming out. Some of them say initially it was bigger, now it's smaller size. But some, they may not see it. They just see flakes and stuff coming out of them. But we do have them, and we want to make sure we rule that out. Problem is, you can just go do a stool test and say, oh, it's negative, I don't have parasite. because parasites do have an enzyme within 20 minutes out of your body. They break themselves out. They dissolve themselves. You can see them under a microscope. Like in India, one of the doctor was saying that the way they check, within 20 minutes of defecation, the doctors look in the microscope and they catch the parasite. But we don't have the time, or we don't do that here. But there is other ways that I have my patient checked. So the solution, we want to test for infections, as I discussed. We want to make sure we increase our immune cells, like natural killer cells. There are supplements like noni that you could take to improve your natural killer cells. But first thing you need to know, okay, which of these do I have? If a patient comes to me and say, oh, I have none of these, I won't believe the patient. There's something I usually tend to find. But you want to find out what you have. According to that, then the supplement will give you. And then also cleanses are important, to do a candida cleanse, get rid of them, parasite cleanse. But the problem is also when you do a 2 weeks parasite cleanse, is not enough. It takes 6 months to a year to get rid of them. And even yeast, 1 month, 2 months, sometimes is not enough. You need to do it longer. So toxins. So our body, we are exposed to toxins. Like smoking, have thousands, 4,000 of toxins your body is exposed. And also cadmium, which is a heavy metal. And also herbicide, pesticide. So plastics, a lot of patients do drink water out of bottled waters. Bottled water is basically, I always tell my patient, is filtered water plus chemicals. Because you don't know how long that water been in that plastic bottled water. All this chemical leaks into your water, and that's toxic to you. And also we don't realize, I myself used to love sushi. I had to have it twice a week. I was addicted to sushi, but then I learned increased risk of parasite because of raw fish, and also mercury is high. So now it's 1 every other week. And I don't eat tuna. Tuna has really high lead level. I saw a patient, one of my patients came to me and I checked her heavy metals, had very high high lead level and mercury level. And I'm like, what's going on here? I mean, this is abnormally high. She's like, I used to have a lot of canned tuna. So that's not good. Because our body cannot, it keeps accumulating it in your bones, in your body. So you need to detox it, get rid of it. And smoking, as I said, accumulates cadmium level. So what's the solution? First, I have to find out what you have. Because if you have cadmium level and lead level, it's 2 different therapies. Cadmium, you could just sweat it out. If you smoke, some people are able to detoxify themselves, get rid of it. But some they can't, and the sweating is the best way. Infrared sauna or any regular sauna, exercise to get rid of cadmium. But mercury, you cannot get rid of it from sweating. Mercury, there is other stuff we do, like DMSA is a good thing to take when you have high mercury level. And also you want to do cleanses like liver, colon, lymphatic, and there is herbs that you could take that can make you sweat more. There is some of my cancer patients that they don't sweat. They're like, Dr. Bita, I don't know, I can't sweat. I exercise for 45 minutes, but I barely sweat. So that means all the toxins are in their body. So there is a reason for us to get cancer. It doesn't, and you have to look at the cause, because more than 70% of cancers are epigenetic. Environmental factors changing our genes, causing cancer. So we need to make sure, what is it? That's what I tell my patient. What's the root cause? We have to look for that. So we do a lot of heavy metal detox. If they have high lead, we do IV chelation, IV EDTA. And then I always tell my patient, make sure you use glass bottled waters, or you buy a cheap filter. It's called Berkeley. And you just pour your water. That's what I use myself. It gets rid of fluoride and other toxins. And I tell people, please avoid large fishes. Don't eat tuna, swordfish, halibut. And also I tell them to take chlorella or spirulina, chlorophylls. They will help you to not absorb the mercury. And you want to stop smoking now. You don't want to continue smoking. So what else is important? So balancing your hormones. So why is hormones important? When patient cancer, most of my cancer patients, they have low adrenal and low thyroid. And there was a study done that they had two groups of low thyroid functioning patient. One group, they gave them medication or supplement to improve the thyroid. The other group, they didn't do anything. The group that they didn't fix the thyroid has 75% higher risk of cancer. So, and also one of the reason again is linked to your immune system. When your thyroid, I tell my patient, is a battery of your body. It's very important for your metabolism, for your body's temperature. When the thyroid is not functioning right, your body temperature is lower. As I said here, by 1 Celsius, 1 degree lower body temperature, your enzyme doesn't function well. Your immune system is suppressed by 36%. That's very high. And most of cancer patients do have thyroid problem. But the problem is they look at the numbers, and the numbers look good. But don't look at that. You need to do your basal body temperature in the morning to make sure you have a good body temperature. And a lot of people, hormone imbalance. I saw a patient coming in with depression, feeling very depressed. And then again, I did the blood work. Blood work looked good, but when I shaked his hand was cold. I said, do you have cold hand and feet? And he said, yes, I do. So he did his body temperature, and body temperature was low. That was the reason of his depression. So I fixed his thyroid, depression was gone. I didn't need to write him a prescription of antidepressant, causing more harm in the patient than good. So the solution, as we did, so we do a lot of hormonal testing, but for thyroid, I don't just go with the numbers. I ask the symptoms. I have them do a basal body temperature for me. And we tend to support the thyroid and adrenal, sometimes thyroid medication, but adrenal most of the time, desiccated adrenal if it's really suppressed for a few months, and then we give them adrenal support. Supplements. There are some supplements that you could take to boost your immune system. So one of them is the Master Immune that we have. It has ashwagandha, mushroom extract, a lot of these other stuff in one supplement. It's great. But so silver, I make sure everyone do take silver. One of the reason is we all have bacteria in our mouth. If they would swab your mouth, you would grow a bunch of bacteria. So I tell my patient, at night it's important to spray some silver and take silver at night after brushing your teeth with non-fluoride toothpaste. Fluoride is really neurotoxic, it's not good for us. And fluoride does not prevent you from bacteria. I mean, it's not a good idea because they're already adding fluoride in our water in US, and that's not good either. In Europe, they don't. So silver is great for everyone to do. A lot of people do have viruses, either cold sore, they don't even know cold sore is a virus, or they have a wart, they don't know it's HPV, it's a virus. So it's important, I think, for a lot of people to do essiac tea for their immune system. I myself do it every night and in the morning. Vitamin C is important. And vitamin D is very important for everyone to be on. A lot of us, I would say 90% of us, even in Southern California, we're low in vitamin D. But vitamin D 30, the range is 30 to 100. 30 is not optimal. You want to make sure you do 70, your level is 70, 80, 90. So I really think everyone needs to be on vitamin D because viruses in your body suppresses your vitamin D level. And also, vitamin D is very important for your immune cell, macrophages, to be activated. You need oleic acid, which is part of olive oil or coconut oil, and vitamin D to activate them. So I tell patients sometimes it's good, this is a new thing I started telling patients that I just recently myself learned, to take about 1 tablespoon of olive oil twice a day. It's great for you. And mushroom extract, which has beta 1,3-D glucans, which you guys probably see that a lot. Supplements now, beta 1,3 glucans, which is from mushroom extract. It improves your immune system. And zinc, if your nutritional eval test says you're low in zinc, you take zinc. Or you're sick. If you really have symptoms, you want to take zinc. Otherwise, I don't want people to take zinc all the time, because zinc and copper use the same receptor. If you keep taking zinc, your copper level goes down, and then low in copper increases risk of aneurysm, and that's not good. So I always tell people it's good to take trace minerals. You don't have to take them every day, but trace mineral that has right amount of zinc and copper. But you don't want to take elements by itself, like zinc for a long time. Unless you're sick, you have cold, I tell people take 8 milligram of zinc every 2 hours. Keep taking it. And vitamin C, 1,000 milligram every 2 hours. Keep taking it. It's not going to harm you. Selenium is a very important thing to take as well if you're low. If you're not, you could eat Brazilian nuts, 3 a day, not 5 or 6 or 10, because selenium has very low range. You know, like if you take it too much, it becomes toxic. It's not good to take too much of it. So I put this slide up because according to one of the journals I was reading, that Americans spend $28 billion on supplements each year, and 25% of them is basically waste. It's important where you get your products. You can't just go anywhere and just pick something up. You want to make sure it's good. I tell patients either go to your doctors to get it from them, or go to Consumers Lab. You go on consumerlab.com, you check the supplement, you see what heavy metal, what toxicity it has, what the problem it has. You don't want to just take anything over the counter. That may cause more harm than good. So summary. So that's the stuff we discussed today. How to boost your immune system. You want to decrease sleep. You want to have decrease stress. You want to have optimal sleep. You want to have sufficient water. You want to make sure you eat right. Nutrition is the key. It's very important. And because that affects your epigenetic. That's one of a lot of my cancer patients have low on B12 and folate. And they think, I'm eating so good, eating healthy. One of my patients came, 50-year-old guy with stage 4 colon cancer, vegan, doing yoga, very healthy guy, not obese or overweight, colon cancer stage 4. He's like, I have no symptom. I'm feeling great, fabulous. I don't know why I got it. So then I did his blood where he had B12 deficiency. And if you're vegan, most of vegan people become B12 because B12 is in red meat. So it's important. Becoming vegan is not for everyone. I tell patients, depending, where your ancestor is from, it's not for everyone. I myself love red meat and I do eat it. But so that's very important. So optimal level of antioxidant, decrease inflammation, eliminate infections, decrease toxins. You want to make sure you have balanced hormone and take supplements that you need. Don't take extra. Make sure they do testing on you. You make sure what is it that you're deficient on, what your body needs. I didn't mention exercise. Exercise is very important for immune system, but too much exercise is bad. A lot of people are like, I exercise 3-4 hours a day. Exercising too much produces free radical. It damages your body. So you want to have good level of exercise, 20 minutes a day, 5 times a week. Anyway, so any questions?
You mentioned the filter. What filter do you recommend?
Berkey filter. If you Google Berkey,
can you spell that?
Yeah, Berkey filter. Yeah. Yes.
What about stainless steel drinking bottles versus the one in glass?
Stainless, that's fine. But using those bottles, yeah, that's fine. A lot of people fill their plastic bottled waters with water, which is fine as long as you don't let it stay in the car or in the sun. That's fine. A lot of people say, how about BPA-free bottle? But there is BPA-A that's free, but the BPA-B it has is bad. So no plastic bottled water. You don't want to buy them. But if you have a plastic bottled water and you fill it with water and you don't let it stay in sun, or you drink it that day or next day, you're fine. It's not a problem.
Okay, stupid question, but so how
No
do you
question is
keep your
stupid.
water? I've been buying the Carlsbad alkaline water now at Costco since they carry it, EPA free. Okay, and I also supplement with Sparkletts delivered water because we live upstairs. So how do you buy your water then? Because I don't want to drink.
You shouldn't buy your water, honey. As I said, just buy a Berkey filter. Just filter your water. Those water is really a filtered tap water plus chemicals most of the time. Yeah, just buy a filtered water and fill it up. If you can't filter the whole house, you know, I'm renting a place, so I can filter the whole house. Yeah, yeah, which is fine. Yeah.
What was the name of the filter you recommended?
Berkey. Oh no, it's not a filter. That's what I use. It's a Berkey. Yeah, Berkey filter. It's like a container. You fill it up with water. Yeah.
It's called gravity.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Slows down.
yeah.
That's a good alternative to doing a house filter, more expensive.
I mean, house filter is better. If you own your own house, I would do house because of shower. So I have a special filter on my shower that I use, which filters, but it doesn't filter fluoride because your skin has the greatest surface area. People don't realize that you water, you shower, and all that chemical and toxins from that water get absorbed via your skin. And also all these makeup people use. They don't realize that how much toxic it has because U.S. doesn't control the lead level. FDA doesn't check that at all. In Europe, at least, their makeups, they do check for lead and heavy metal. In U.S., the lipstick that you use, it's, you know, women use a lot of makeup and it's toxic, it's absorbed via skin. So if you have your own house, I would do filter. Filter the house, the shower, or you could put a shower head.
What's your thoughts on the biofeedback? You know, you're talking about with all the viruses that you may have, and you do inhalations.
That's-
and that. What about these sublingual drops? And
That's
all of
excellent, excellent. But you want to make sure you check your level. Make sure you do blood tests on your viruses, and there is always a count, a number. What's the antibody level? And you want to follow that, make sure it goes down. Yeah, there is many different ways that you could get rid of them, like Rife machine, Rife. Yeah, all this stuff. Okay.
So if a patient's going through, if they know they have yeast candida issues, what's your thought on probiotics?
Yeah, so that's a good one. I'm glad you mentioned it because sometimes taking all kind of probiotic like kimchi or fermented vegetable or this, you can actually feed your yeast. You want to, during those time, make sure you take Saccharomyces. It's a specific probiotic that doesn't feed the yeast. Once you got rid of the yeast, then you could take other probiotics. A lot of people don't know that, and then they do get bloating after eating or drinking the tea. Kombucha, the kombucha tea, and those are good if you don't have yeast. Yes.
One of your points was inflammation.
Yes.
I remember you addressing how you approach reducing inflammation.
So reducing inflammation, the key is, I mean, sometimes food. What is the allergen to your body? We do food allergy testing. So that can get rid of inflammation. A lot of my patients, they have like gluten sensitivity or this. If that's gone, you still have inflammation, then there are supplements you take, curcumin, omega-3s, aronia, all these supplements that you could take to bring it down. And then if that even doesn't help, then you want to look what's going on. Is it cancer there already? Because a lot of cancer patients who believe they're in remission, but they still have these cancer cells, circulating tumor cells floating in their body, which is sometimes that's cause of inflammation. Or if you have plaque, atherosclerosis, you want to rule out the cause. If you get rid of the allergies, if you get rid of the main cause and you still have it, you want to look further. See, your body is telling you something. Most of my cancer patients come in, they've been having low white blood cell for years. or trending down, and their doctors don't tell them, okay, there's something going on. They're like, oh, well, let's just monitor it. Let's just monitor that low white blood cell, and the next thing you know, they get diagnosed with cancer. There is something. And also, like today, I had a patient with lupus, and she was in Plaquenil, immunosuppressant medication. Her white blood cell was 2. I'm like, my God, you need to get rid of the Plaquenil. And her doctor knew that. And they don't say that to. I mean, I said, there's increase. Do you want to have your lupus or do you want to have cancer? I mean, it leads really to cancer. It's like some people, they don't know. Or one patient, the arthritis was so bad, she's like, you know what, I don't care if I get cancer. It's not going to affect me. Or they don't think it's going to affect them. So yeah, white blood cell is important. You always want to look at the trend, but that's not everything though. Sometimes it's not that white blood cell could be normal and you still could develop cancer. There's other stuff you could look at, or do cancer profile tests, early testing. Since it's so high now, cancer is, it's, yeah. Anyways, yeah.
So, on supplementation, I guess long-term supplementation, what's your thoughts on, let's say you're supporting your adrenals, how long do you support your adrenals, and if you're supporting it through supplementation, you get to the point where your adrenals no longer feel they need to produce those enzymes because they're being supported by the supplements.
So first it depends how long your adrenal been suppressed. If it's been suppressed for a long time, you may need support for a long time. You may need to be on it for forever. But some people take desiccated adrenal for a long time. That shouldn't be to be taken for a long time. You take it, the one we have, like we use it once every 3 months, or sometimes you take it for 3 months or 6 months. Then you take other support like ashwagandha or other, sometimes vitamin B's is even support to adrenal. It all depends. But I believe once your immune system be suppressed, or if someone been diagnosed, supplement forever. Yeah. Correct. 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 Okay, guys. Last one.
That's a good comprehensive way for lay people like me and probably most of these people in here to get educated on all the things that you're talking about here. Is there a video series?
So that's our goal here now. We're starting to educate people. I mean, that's all about telling people, we're going to do that every week, different topic. We're going to go more detail. I kind of talked about immune system, but I gave you kind of a little bit overview, talked about a little bit about cancer, but we're going to talk about these, weekly basis. So,
Dr. Kaneela's got a new book out, right?
Yes. In January. It's out and released in January. Yeah.
I have a question. You know the Saccharomyces?
Yes.
That's a yeast, right?
Yes.
And is it good to take the vitamins that has been processed with the Saccharomyces? Like a beta-glucan is from the
Yeah.
Is it okay?
So I don't know. I'm not much. I don't think it should be a problem to take beta-glucan with Saccharomyces. Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, but Saccharomyces is very good to take when we have yeast. It's candida, for candida, to get rid of it. Yeah, because taking regular probiotics sometimes feeds the yeast. You want to make sure you take Saccharomyces, or you do a cleanse, you do the diet, candida diet as well. That's the most important one.
Does the standard blood work identify the parasites and virus and the yeast that you talk about, or are those specific tests?
It's specific tests. Sometimes if I do a blood test, just regular blood test for candida, it may not show. Sometimes with physical or other tests, you could even, could tell with some patient. And parasite too, as I said, you can just do a stool test, for example, doesn't show either. And viruses with blood, viruses most of the time with the blood. And then what the enzyme that I talked about, nagulase, is very good to do too. Nagulase is an enzyme. If someone wants to know, okay, is my immune system suppressed? Because nagulase binds to your immune system, binds to your macrophages, natural killer cells, suppresses them. And if you want to know how is your immune system doing, you could always do natural killer cell function tests to see those white blood cells, how they're doing, and also you could do the nagulase level, which I used to do on all my cancer patients. 3 years ago when I went to Germany and cancer conference, I learned that then. I started doing on everyone, but then I realized everyone has high. All the cancer patient has high level. So I started treating them, then I followed that nagulase. Both save money and time. We don't need to wait for it. We know it's elevated. And people with viruses. Everyone with virus has elevated. So do you want to cut? Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Oh, and then Matt is going to talk a little bit about the
Oh.
Day detox.
Well, I just have some taster samples.
Yeah, so we brought detox. First thing what I do on most of my patients is I put them on cleanse, on a detox. Some of my patients, their symptoms goes away just by detoxing. Like 50% of the symptom is gone. Because a lot of people don't know that they have food allergies and their liver, their organs is toxic. They need to get rid of it. And one of the best things with that is they have also lymphatic and liver that you also sweat out and get the toxins out, and also through the liver, cleanse the liver.